Hey guys, Coldbrew here. Welcome back to another raid video. The new quality of life patch is almost out. Not everything has been added to the game, but the things that have been added made me realize that my account is way worse than I originally thought. An account that has been playing the game since launch, global launch at least, not the beta launch. I never got Sir Nicholas from that easy fusion, but we'll have a look at what they've added and what made me realize this today, because it's actually pretty funny if you think about it. And I'll show you what I mean, because you can now filter your gear based on stats and your champion based on stats. Although the second one is actually pretty easy to change. It is what it is, guys. We'll have a look. They still haven't added the super raids from what I'm seeing on Minotaur, so that's gonna be added, I guess, on patch 10.6. They're gonna add the Shadow Arena, which will be every 2 weeks, and then they're also gonna add some, the ability for Doom Tower, your teams to be saved as presets when you last got into that fight. So you no longer have to select your teams every single time that this resets. So that's cool. And basically that's it. They've added some other, changes to the clan shop now, allowing you to. Actually, this is live, allowing you to buy stuff for your relics, just ranking them out quicker. And these rotate, so you can see the rotations here. Also relic crafting material, gemstone. Also, that's going to be very interesting, but very long until you get to level 30. That's going to be, that's going to take quite a while. And then the remaining ones have, I believe, remain unchanged, the remaining slots. So that's where we're at in terms of the changes to the clan shop. So let's have a look. They've also added some other miscellaneous changes and a rebalance to Coronar. Coronar just becomes way better when Minaya is in the same team, and he also gets a resistance aura for all battles, which makes him basically also useful for the Chimera. But let's do this, by the way, before we get started. I have 40 of these. I got them through finishing the dungeon. There's a 2% chance for a newt. I wish I get a newt, but I know, I get an epic, whatever. I get a Duke the Pierced. He's actually pretty cool, epic, but honestly, for a spending summoning portal, this is huge. Like Harima, Newt, Wixwell. You also have Mishinagi in there, Feral, getting a +4 Feral. That's quite insane. This is a big spender kind of summoning portal, but that's it in terms of summon. So let me show you guys what I mean by my account looks way worse than what I originally thought. So on the new filtering system, you click on filters here, you can actually see now your equipped items. So I have almost 3,500 items on all of my champions plus my inventory. My inventory is 1.3. So I have the remaining like 2,000 something with gear on my champions, which is, wow, a lot, considering champions can only get 6 pieces. So there's that. So let's look at the substats. The first thing that I checked when this was live, how many quad rolled items do I have? Guys, I have 5 items that have been quad rolled, playing the game since 2019. Just tells you on the speed quad rolls that I get. And one of them is mythical. The others are just random pieces. Honestly, I have a merciless piece here, but I have 2 5-stars. No, I have 3 5-stars and 1 6-star piece. 1 6-star piece, guys. Insane. Insanity. So if I have a look, let's have a look at the other, like, crit rate. How many quad crit rate I have? I've got 2 items with quad crit rate. I don't really search for that, but it's a good stat. Let's check for not crit damage, but maybe accuracy. I might have way more than I thought. I have 3 of them. 2 of them are perception, which is pretty nice. What about attack percent? Attack percent, I think I have 3. None of them are equipped on damage dealers. Like this one's got speed and attack percent, which is very bad. This one's got accuracy, quad rolled attack percent, and then this one's a stone skin, which is actually quite nice for stone skin damage dealers, although I don't have it equipped. So that is what made me think, wow, my gear completely sacks. And imagine playing so long and all of that farming and you just get all of these pieces. But I wonder, what about crit damage? Then crit rate with like triple crit rate. How many do I have? I've got 6 pieces. Triple crit rate is actually huge because you get this bonuses and your champion immediately becomes way deadlier with like 25% crit rate, guys. Like, these are the end game pieces. This is what you consider, you know, having end game equipment on your champions. And now with mythicals, right? With mythicals, you can actually get 5 rolls. So instead of quad roll, you get penta roll, I guess you would say it. So you can see what I mean by just insane stats and how it can change your account having all of these stats. Because if you think about it, how many single rolls of speed do I have? 803. This is how important speed is, right? And then you jump onto the 2 double rolled speed, and now immediately you can see, guys, I have way less, 708, but still very important to have double rolls, especially on even, you know, your damage dealers. You know, double roll on speed and then double roll on crit rate, or 1 roll on crit rate, 1 roll on attack percent. That's what makes your gear jump to the next level in terms of getting into end game. And then look at this, triple rolled speed. Now it becomes way more often that I get triple. You see 174 items, lots of speed ones, and random sets. So random sets, it just shows on how even like a stalwart item, you might get it. You see it's a legendary, and you think, when am I gonna use stalwart? But imagine if you get like a triple rolled on speed there. So that's why you always roll them to level 8, and then you push them a little bit further after that to see, all right, where am I going with this piece? Is it actually gonna do something on the account? I don't know, but I'll go for it. It only costs a little bit of silver. Not taking it all the way to 16. Get it to 8, maybe to 12. If you get lucky in the first 2 upgrades, and then you for the 3rd upgrade, maybe you get that triple roll. And if you don't, and you're feeling lucky, you take it to 16, but that's way more expensive. So you see all these pieces that I have, and some of these gear pieces like lethal, protection, stone skin, all of these, lethal, protection, stone skin, the guardian, frostbite, untouchable, affinity breaker, perception, resilience. These are free gear pieces. Immortal, cruel. These are all free gear pieces. I didn't farm for them other than Doom Tower and and not the dungeons, the clan bosses. It's gear that you can farm by not using energy, is what I'm saying. Of course, you need energy to finish other places and all that to get to that point, but that's not what I mean. It's especially the crafting gear, the gear you do at the forge, is very important for your account, and that's how you get those big upgrades. Now, the second part I wanted to show you. Look at this. Look at this. You click on filters, champion filter. Now, you can do champion stats, and again, boom. If you click on speed, you immediately see your fastest champion and your slowest champion. My slowest one has got 86 speed. I'm guessing is a champion without any gear. Yeah, it's rares and uncommons, I would imagine. So look at that, 86 speed. But if you go all the way, then it's all my champions. And if I put this to 300, let's say, how many champions would I have over 300, guys? Say it in the comments. Tell me if you guys have more. I want to see those crazy accounts out there. But boom, I have 20 champions. Look at that, 20 champions at over 300 speed. Most of them don't even have the speed, like, you know, complete speed set in there, like speed and stone skin, speed, stone skin, my safeties and protection. So it's not strictly speed. My Mad Hatter here with his 1-piece feral, 4-piece merciless, 300 speeds, very nice. It's the glyphs also boosting a lot, and the awakenings on the boots always giving you those big boosts. So all of these are basically my most used champions. These are my most used for sure. Feral, I'm gonna have 1 blessing on Feral. Didn't check that. So my fastest one should be Arbiter, I'm guessing. Yeah, it's Arbiter, and it's actually in a stone skin, which I could just try and boost her speed to the max, but I had stone skin Arbiter as being my fastest at this point. It's crazy fast, but not, you know, there's accounts out there with insane speeds. And this is what made me so surprised. So let's have a look at other stats. So crit damage, my highest one, 365 only. And it's Yannicka, who's +4. One of the reasons she's at 365. But she doesn't have a relic, so this could have boosted her way higher if I tried to. In terms of crit rate, I've got somebody with 131 crit rate. Why? Why do I have so much crit rate? And it's the archer. I'm guessing I just didn't check on the pieces. Some pieces give me crit rate like Slayer. And I'm guessing crit rate here on the glove. So it's not needed, obviously. So crit damage would have been way better. So how much is my highest accuracy? 700. Not a lot, but I think it's Stone Skin. So with Stone Skin, no, it's my Kymar with Perception. Okay. What about, how many do I have over 600? Not many. 2, 4, 6 champions. Vizier? Why do I have so much accuracy on Vizier? Can't remember, guys. Let's see. Resistance 500? The heck? And one of them is my Titus that I use. And then the other is Lamasu. But why? Didn't I have... I must have moved her pieces somewhere. I was wondering why does my Crixia not have the highest resistance? I could definitely get this to 800. I had a Paragon at a time with 700 for sure. So that's speed. What about attack? Ooh, 8,500. Who's got 8,500? 6-star Turvold. That's who. 6-star Turvold. He's got the 6-star blessing +2. No relic though. This I can change. I can give him like a relic. Give him a little bit more crit damage. Super high attack. Ideally, my Toshiro would have had higher attack. But my Toshiro sucks. Barely has any good gear. But he still does good damage for where I'm sending him. No relic. I send him mostly on the Hydra. I don't use him on Chimera. I just don't have the builds yet for that one. But pretty cool. And then let's have a look. What's my highest health? 131,000. Who's that? Obviously, Mountain King would have had one spot in there with the Relentless and Immortal. 131,000. Duchess with 120. Artag, 116. Very tanky boy. Very tanky. It's obviously for the Ice Column. And then defense, final stat, almost 8,000 defense. Who has it? I'm guessing... maybe Valkyrie? Who else would have 8,000 defense? Maybe my Marius. Don't think my Marius has 8,000 defense. No chance. Let's see from 6,000 to 8,000. I've got 4 champions. Archer has 6.3. Soulless with no gear pieces on, 6.7. Vogoth, 6.7. And then finally, the ultimate Death Knight, with almost 8,000 defense. Okay, that's why he's the ultimate Death Knight. Yeah, that's it. Those are my stats, guys. Just going over through them with the filters. It makes it very interesting to look back on where your account is, depending on where you started playing. But for me, since 2019, it's kind of tragic. I would have expected much higher stats. I'm guessing optimization on my gear is not there in terms of like the resistances. Yeah, I had gear on Crixia. I removed it. I was probably building something and now she's kind of naked. I need to build this again. But highest resistance, highest accuracy depends on where you're pushing. If you're not pushing PvP, you don't need those crazy high resistances and accuracies. Even the speeds, right? The speeds, you want to have more champions being on a range rather than one champion who has all the best gear, because then you can build multiple teams with higher than 300 speed, for example, for PvE, like the Hydra's teams and stuff like that. It all depends on where you have your most focus on in the game. So that's it, guys, for the video for today. Thank you all. I'll see you in the next one. See ya.